Hi, my name is Rachel. I first went to David Allen Nutrition just over 10 years ago. I went because I had tried everything. I had done so many different kinds of eating plans and exercise plans and so many things. And I'd get to the end of, 4 weeks and I'd get on the scale and maybe 1, maybe 2 pounds at the most, if anything. And it was so frustrating and so incredibly frustrating. And I just kept thinking, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me because clearly these plans had worked for so many other people. Um, but nothing worked for me. And I got so frustrated and I pretty much had given up on trying. What was the point? I kept feeling like if I'm going to gain weight, then I want to do it because I'm eating brownies, not because I'm eating apples. So, anyways, it was a really good philosophy I had. Clearly, it was working well for me. And then some girls that I had been working with at the time had seen David and were getting some really, really good results. So that piqued my curiosity. So I thought I would try one more time and just see maybe, maybe David could figure out what my problem was, since clearly nothing else was going to work. So I went in and there was a lot of paperwork to fill out. And there was basically, he got a really good idea of my entire health history and my current health situation and gave me a plan. And I remember he gave me a plan. I went home for 3 weeks and I was supposed to come back at the end of that 3 weeks and we'd see how it went. And I went home, and at the time I felt like that plan, I felt like it was hard, but at the same time I was totally determined because I was like, I'm going to come back at the end of this 3 weeks, and if we've only lost 1 or 2 pounds, then, I'll show him or whatever, I don't know. But I worked really hard to follow the plan. It was not 100% easy. It was kind of it was a change in my eating habits for sure. And that was difficult. I discovered I'm maybe a little bit more of an emotional eater than I had given myself credit for. And so that was all kinds of fun habits were changing at that point. And I got back to David's office at the end of 3 weeks. I had no idea. I hadn't weighed myself. I had no idea. All I know is that it had been a rough couple. I'd had a couple rough days for sure. But I got in there and I got on the scale, and I'd lost 10 pounds, which blew my mind in ways that I just don't even have words for. Like, I had lost 10 pounds that had never happened to me before in my life, ever. Nothing, and no illnesses, no nothing had ever resulted in me losing 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And I didn't even have to be sick. So I was really excited to keep trying and to move forward. And so we did. And the really, really great thing about working with David was that he, you work on the plan, you come back, and he checks in, and he keeps wanting to know how you're doing and how your body's responding to things. And he'll keep changing things and finding what really works for you, which was a really wonderful thing. A few years down the line from when I first walked in the door, I developed hypothyroidism, which was a lot of fun. That was delightful, good time. And basically, David's attention to really finding things that work specifically for you saved me in a lot of ways. Because once again, like, all of my habits previous suddenly stopped working, and I started gaining more and more weight. And I didn't understand, first didn't understand why. Then when we understood why, then it became a matter of figuring out what the best way to deal with it was. Like, what the best treatments, and then also what the best eating plans and everything, what that was going to be. And I feel like I've had a huge support system with David, and everyone in the office has been hugely supportive and very, very helpful. Whether it's, sending me supplements that I needed, or just things that I forgot to pick up, and they'll send them, UPS, and I'll get them the next day or whatever. or even just needing to call and checking in to see, to update everyone, be like, well, I'm really not feeling great on this plan, and I'm really not sure this is working right, and I think we need to fix things, and, getting help that way. Um, Everyone's been amazing. And obviously, I like working with David, and it's worked out well for me. Otherwise, I'm a glutton for punishment if I keep going back. But really, my eating habits from when I first walked into David's office, my eating habits have evolved significantly. Um, I've never felt better than I do now. I I feel better in my own skin. I feel more comfortable in my body than I have ever felt in my entire life. And and all of those things are due in very, very large part to David Allen Nutrition and all the help that they've given me.